let's go to Moscow, where Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is meeting with Russia's foreign minister. Our chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, is there and has those details for us. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. Well, the mood here is edgy and uncertain. Secretary of State Tillerson is here at a moment when the tension between the Kremlin and the White House over Syria has reached critical proportions. And today, Russian President Vladimir Putin declared once again that he sees no evidence that Syria, his close ally, even used chemical weapons. And he declared that trust between the U.S. and Russia has degraded under President Donald Trump.
This morning, a handshake, but real tensions in the room as U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson meets his Russian counterpart here in Moscow.
Our meetings today come at an important moment in the relationship.
Russian policy, Lavrov said, is not influenced by wrong choices of whether you are with us or against us. In a relationship that has suddenly gone off the rails, at the top of the agenda, Syria. After the U.S. missile strike on a Syrian airbase in retaliation for the Syrian regime's chemical weapons attack, the U.S. and Russia have sunk into a war of words over Russia's staunch support of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, and Tillerson is right in the middle of it.
And now Assad has made the Russians look not so good under these circumstances.
The Trump administration now accuses Russia of trying to cover up, maybe even facilitate, this horrifying chemical attack, issuing a 4-page dossier of evidence that Assad's regime is responsible and that Russia is trying to create confusion and sow doubt. Russian President Vladimir Putin has responded with cold fury, criticizing the U.S. for the airstrike and comparing it to the invasion of Iraq. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., Secretary of Defense James Mattis doubling down on the administration's warning to Syria.
If they use chemical weapons, they are going to pay a very, very stiff price.
But President Trump saying action should have been taken a long time ago. He blames President Obama, and he's quick to reassure Americans worried about yet another U.S. war in the Middle East.
We're not going into Syria.
The Kremlin now tells us that President Putin and Secretary of State Tillerson will meet today, so it looks like both sides are trying to get through this moment of crisis over Syria and start building some kind of working relationship for the future.